Good day. Today's video, we're going to start to make or build one of the buildings from Mud Creek models. And also we're going to install the lift bridge that I put together and weathered, get that set in. That's what we'll start with today. So let's get started. All right. Let's start with kit number 1. And this is which one we're going to be working on today. On the camera you can see it. Never built anything from these people. See how it goes. Strip wood. Oh, here's a window glass. So we got some netting and string, I guess, for rope. That looks a little thick for end gauge. We might have to change that up. These are probably the roof panels. And we got some detail parts here. 3D printed. See in there. Some steps. Sign sheets, not a decal, it's paper, which is good, I like that. And we got some cedar shakes, and I guess this is for the tar paper. All right. Pretty much standard stuff. All right. First thing we're going to do is we're going to put some bracing on the back side of it so things don't warp. I haven't read the directions, but normally this bigger square stuff is for bracing. All right. Let's see what the directions got to say. Yep, there's the first step, the bracing. There's what the recommendations are for bracing, which is pretty well normal. All right. Directions look straightforward. Got some nice photos showing you some what it should look like. All right. We'll get started on this. All right, I went ahead and cut all the bracing and glued the pieces on. Actually, they're drying. That's pretty much all you have to do. It's pretty straightforward, not much to it. You can follow the directions. I mean, you could always put more on if you'd like to put more in there. You know, it's whatever you feel like doing. So while they're drying, I wanted to do the windows and the doors. And I already did some of them. Normally, most kits, these have a sticky back on the back. Take them out and then you peel the backing on and you just stick them together. It glues, it stays together pretty good. Sometimes you have an issue, you might have to put a little dab of CA or something on it. But these don't have any, so you have to glue it all. So what I did is cut them out. And I know you're probably not going to be able to see it in the camera. But on the back of it, you usually got burnt marks. You can see where the laser burned it. I don't know if you can really see it there or not. I don't know if it'll bring it up, but that's the back side. So lay that down. Take this window, the front part of it, dab of glue on it. And then slowly drop it on there. It's going to be hard to see with the camera view. Then I just hold it there a little bit and try to get it centered equal around all sides of the trim. Don't let it be exact, because one good thing, this window part has a little bit of space going around in the opening in the building. And that's about it. Now, you'll probably glue with this. You can't see it, but there's a little bit of glue in there. Now, if you wanted to try to stain this, you're going to see that glue mark. This I don't care about because these things don't stain good, this cardboard stock. So what I do is I just I primer them, and then I'll paint it. So the primer will go over the glue and you won't see anything. I got this like little windowsill down here. Now, there is no, in the directions, there is nothing talking about the windows or the doors. They just appear in the picture. And actually the picture doesn't, I couldn't see anything where this windowsill was, but they're on here. I'm going to put them on. Glue's starting to dry up. And just set it down in there. Let me get see it. All right. Now we'll do this door. Don't need that sheet no more. Flip it over. Okay. I've been using this glue. I like it. It's thick, and when you put the piece of wood on there, it almost sticks immediately, and it dries pretty quick. I still let this stuff set overnight because I want it hard. So I don't want to be messing with it. But I really, the only problem with this is it starts drying up quick. So if you put, like I do, I put a little dab out here. In 5 minutes or so, it's already gelling up. So I don't know if you can see, but I do waste a lot of it because it just gets hard on me. But I really do like it because, like I said, it's thick, and if you put something on it, pretty much sticks. It stays there, and it has good holding power. Put that down on there. That door down at the bottom. There we go. All right. Now my next thing, we'll get everything primed, stained, so this way I can start painting. So I'm going to get all this out. While I'm priming them, I'll prime all this stuff here, because some of the things we will need when I'm, the smokestacks. Might need these wheels for the winch or something. So, actually give you 2 smokestacks, it's nice. Pretty cool. All right, so I don't think you need to watch me prime these. I'm going to get these all taped down and get them primed. When we come back, I'll stain these, and then we start putting them together. All right, I'll be back. All right, all this stuff is nice and dry. Got to dry all night. And what I was noticing, looking through the instructions, this is the deck that the building's going to go on, and they had these joists on there, so I glued them on, and then this way it'll help this from not bowing. One thing with all this laser stuff, that when they cut it, it burns the end. I don't know if you can see that in there. See, it's like a brown. Now, what I do is I sand it so it gets that off of there. So this way, when you stain it, it all kind of matches. If not, it's just dark. It really does stain. You see a big difference. So I just take a heavy grit sanding block, just lightly back and forth, try to keep it even so you don't get it out of square or anything. Sand it till you get it where you like it. That's good. All right. That'll work. All right. I mixed up some stain. I used 2. I used this here, aged barn wood. As you can see, it's kind of a real light gray. And then I got this shadow gray, which is darker. So I poured quite a bit of the aged barn in there, and then I put maybe about a half a dozen or so drops or so of the gray. Mixed it until I got something I was kind of like happy with. And so I'm going to go with that. This is what I'm going to put on the buildings. This here is the first thing I ever bought when I started the HO, was this here from Micro Marks. And I still like it. It's a light thing, but I always like the look of it. So I'm going to put that on the decking, just so I have a little bit different contrast between the building and this here. Of course, the decking we can always, all of it we can weather. So let's start with this. Take my brush, hit the camera. I knew I was going to do that. Sorry. This is my brush I basically always use for the stain. So I usually like to try to dip it in and wipe it out to get from whatever color stain was on it before. And just go over it like that. I like this here. If you think you want it a little bit darker, you can put a second coat, another coat on it. That usually darkens it up. Or you can just kind of dab it around just to get blotches, just different shades, which it does itself automatically a little bit. But yeah, so kind of gives it that look. Now you can also do the edges of all of these too, but you're going to get a corner piece on here. You're really not going to see all this. You can do it just to make sure you got no burrs or anything like that on them. But on this one, I don't really need to do it. So I think you get the idea on that. All right. And just show you on this one. I'm just about out of this. I think I'm going to get more. Just like it. And I've added these other stains to this too, or vice versa, and it seems like pretty much all it's compatible. See a little bit more even stain. Still gets a little darker, but it's not as bad as if you would have left it alone. Really don't need to stain this whole thing because the building's going to take over most of it. But just to be on the safe side. You can see how it kind of like blotchy. I'll leave it like that. It looks good. All right, I'm not going to bore you with staining the rest of these. The other thing too is all the trim wood. This is corner pieces. This is for the winch. This is going to be the pilings. They had these skewers. I might use this for the hoist because it's bigger, but I bought these a while ago. I think they're like 16 inch. I mean, yes, 1/16 round stock. I actually used that on the first building I built and bought. This is a Barnes & Mill, one of the few they have in Engage. It's a waterfront. Actually, you can make probably really any building waterfront, just as long as it's got some kind of deck that you can put the pilings on it. But I think this is more to scale than this is. I mean, you could use it. It's not a big deal, but just my preference. So that's that one. And he's basically just brushing on now. If I'm not using a mix. I'm just going to use this stain right out of the bottle. I just stick these right in the bottle. That's it. I got a little parchment paper. I just set them on there to dry. And that's it. Oh yeah, too, the other thing is I noticed in the instructions, this is all it shows you how to make the decking. But when you look at the photo, they actually put like another support beam underneath it. They had it like this, and I like that look. So I went through my scraps of wood and I found these. I think they look somewhat to scale, look good. So I'm going to put them on there, and then I'm going to have it stick out a little bit, protrude out here, like this a little bit, and so the piling will attach to it. So I'm going to stain them, and I'll put them on. But I want to stain these before I glue them, because if I glued on here, then stain it, you would see where the glue marks were. So that's what we're going to do. So let me get this stained, and I think we're going to move on over to the layout and see about getting that lift bridge cut in there. So be right back. All right. I got all the two sections of track. Did all the ends of them. Did all the ends on both sides. I cut out the insulated foam board. This basically here is going to be the river going into the harbor. I had to shave a little bit of the foam board so the bridge would sit down so it would match up with the roadbed. And before I glued the sections of track in there, I needed to paint them. I'm trying this camouflage dark brown, and that's what I'm going to be painting all the track. And I'm trying this way of having the track on down and then painting it. But that'll be future videos. We'll get into more of the track and painting and ballasting and so forth. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this in and run some train through it, make sure everything's okay. So give me a minute to set them up, and I'll be right back. All right, I got the bridge on. Let's try moving the train. Well, it looks like it went through pretty good. See if it goes backwards all right. All right, I think we got a winner. All right, so that'll be that phase of this bridge on there. At least it's on there for now, and I'll be able to run the trains. So now we'll get back over to that one building we were working on. So let me get over there and get the camera set up. All right, we're back here at the workbench. All right, so I got all the pieces stained. Actually, I want, once they dried up a little bit, I went back over and gave them another coat. A little hit and miss, made it just a little bit darker. And this is the other one. You can see the difference in it. So this is the decking. All right, so what I'm going to try on this one, I'm going to try like a little dry brushing. So what I'm going to do is get my little palette, and I'm going to use this here from Folk Art. They're chalky style, and it's cottage white. A little bit on my lid. Get my brush. Get some of the white off off it. Take your time. Just keep going back over until you get to what you're looking for. Most of the time I'll try to put more paint near the top of the building and less paint down at the bottom where the water splashes up and it's got more wear on it. You see that or not? If you get too much, like you don't really like it, you just kind of brush it around. I like to have some spots where there's some paint that's on there, or less paint, so it's not all, like I said, you don't want it all uniform. And you want to go back and add a little bit more. Dry brushing is really great. You can do a lot of things with it. But it takes practice. I'm not that good at it. I haven't been doing it that much. Some of them other YouTubers, they really do a fantastic job. Of course, they've been doing it for maybe 15, 20 years. I've been doing this for a couple of years. See, like there, got a little bit too much. Try to stretch it out. So you kind of get the idea. Like I said, you can go back over it. You put more up here or less, but you kind of get the idea. So the front, I already did and I tried doing a little freehand. I wanted to put some kind of sign on there. So don't look bad. I think I still might mess around with it. What I did is once it was painted, I took some 600 sandpaper and I rubbed it down. So it kind of smeared it like the paint's running, but it wasn't really all the way dry. So I may try to dull it out a little bit more. I'll see once I start weathering. But I wanted to kind of make it look like they were just went up there by hand and tried to, write something on it. Oh, give it a little character. So anyhow, that's what it looks like. All right, the other thing, here's all our detail pieces and so forth. Got them all primed. Here's our windows. Now the windows, I'm going to paint them red, a little different flavor instead of having all white. And this, I'm going to try to do a sponge on it. And this here, I just pulled a piece off this sponge. It's one of my old grout sponges when you're doing ceramic tile on granite. It's one of my newer ones I had. It wasn't all full of dust and everything in it. I've had this. I just started this was full 2 years ago, or 2.5 years ago. Most of the time, I'll just by hand it and tip it around. But I also found that sometimes you want to get a little bit lighter, you put with tweezers, you can kind of get a little bit lighter dab on it. So since this is N scale, I'm going to get it, so dip in the paint, get most of it off. Just start dabbing. Till you get as much as you want on it. You can see it kind of makes like it's all flaking off, and you see some of the primer, the gray primer coming through. Gives it that beat up look. And same thing. I'll do some windows, I'll cover it a lot more. This is kind of sparse. Just mix them up so they're not all the same. When you get all done, you put them on there. Looks pretty good. So it'll be like that, and we'll put that in there. Kind of give it that beat up look. So I'll finish doing these windows, and I'll finish dry brushing the other couple wall panels. And then when I come back, we'll glue the panels together, and we can glue the windows in and get moving on it. So I'll see you in a little bit. Bye. All right, so I got it all dry brushed, and actually I glued them together and put the corner posts on. Those I sponged the corner posts. Looks like this. Trying to do it with the brush, I just dabbed it with the sponge. Put some of the windows on. I'll glue this on and show you how I do that. I think sometimes I go a little overboard on the glue, but I want to make sure I got enough on there. That must be pretty square. That slid right in. And then I just line it up so the two corners meet right in the corner. And a lot of times the other ones, before I put that on, I would put this in here, put two pieces on it, keep it square. Then I also you can just take if you have one of these cutting boards, anything with kind of grit on it, you can line it up here, make sure everything's square, which looks good. Scrape that glue out of there. So I won't mess up my corner trim. You can see this glue starts setting up and gelling up pretty darn quick. It takes overnight to dry totally hardwood. You're not going to move it. You're going to have to break the wood apart to get it apart. But you're gentle, you can kind of move along with it. All right, let that set up for a little bit. And the other thing I did is the back roof here. I put the tar paper rolled shingles, whatever it is, on it. I'm just gonna let that set. I had to glue the little edge on the top here. I had to put some glue on it, so I wanted it to dry. And before I put it on, I'll take some sandpaper and scuff it up, rough it up a little bit, and then I'll glue it on. And then once it's all done, we'll do the weathering, something like we did on the coal mine. Here's the cedar shake I started. And what I use is this two-face tape. I got it on Amazon. I know 3M makes a 3M tape, two-face tape. It's real thin. Stick it on there. Something like that. On real good. Look at that. And just got to try to pick up the paper end. Just make sure you don't get the sticky tape itself. Which I didn't do. I'm pulling it. It's the hardest part of the whole thing. There we go. I don't know if you can see it, but it's on there. And you just set this on, line it up. Have a little bit of an overhang. Not very much, it's very slight. And you can see it, it's not much. Press it on. And then you take the bottom edge, and just so it starts touching the grooves. Gotta set it down, it's kind of tough to do. There you go. One thing with this, I don't know, but they just give you enough of this cedar shake, so you got to use every bit. Because you don't get too much left over. So it can't be throwing away little pieces. see it. Show it or not. And then I use these here as a guide. Just keep the equal space. This way you know your rows aren't getting too out of whack. So when you get to the top, you don't have a big difference in the shingles. And I just take something to press down the edge. I think you get the idea. Like I said, these little pieces, then you start the next row, go on, because you don't get a lot extra with this. All right. And the corner posts. Corner trim, I should say. I only paint two sides. You could paint all four sides, but I only paint two sides. Just make sure I get them facing right. Dry. And the windows pretty well cut and dried too, not much to them. I just take a little dab. Each corner. Set in the hole. Make sure it's squared up. There you go. I'm rushing this a little bit. Usually I'll give this a little bit more time. But I lay it down and I take my blade and follow the contour of the roof. That's how it gives that angle. Something like that. All right, so I want to finish that up. I'll finish the roof and pretty much get this thing pretty much done. All right, I'll see you in a little bit. All right, that's going to wrap it up for today. The next video we'll finish up that building. I got some work to do on the track where the lift bridge is that I installed. Got to finish soldering that, glue it down, and run the feeder wires to the main bus line. And then I'll move on to something else on it. I don't know yet. I'll see where that goes. So if you could, I would really appreciate it if you would subscribe to the channel. And if you like, hit the like button. I really appreciate it. And please, please leave a comment of anything. Like I said, this is the main thing I'm doing this for, is to be able to have communication with other model railroaders. So, until the next time we meet.